So, I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but I had to give it a few months to make sure that everything was cool and everything died down. I'm really not still sure how much of it was in my head and how much of it was actually real. I'm going to assume a little bit of both. Either way, I wanted to lie low and make sure that if there's any dust to settle, that it did. And now it's been long enough so I can actually talk about it and not feel paranoid. A while back, many months ago, a good 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more, I picked up some shrooms, quite a bit more than personal, personal use. I was stockpiling, for rainy day. Anyway, it was quite a bit, and I was with a friend of mine, and she had never done shrooms before, so it was kind of like the environment is always key, right? It's always always want to be in a good environment, and so we decided you get this hotel, right? So we all got this hotel, and these shrooms were really big. They're I'm used to like these small ones, the skinny small ones, which are great, right? I mean, people think that the bigger, thicker ones are better. Not necessarily, but either way, these ones are really big, and it's hard for me to eyeball how much it was. I didn't have a scale when they're that big, right? Because one or two shrooms could be like an eighth, right? I'm not really sure. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, right? So wasn't sure how much it takes. So basically I just started eating. Her and I. By the way, she had never done shrooms before, so we went to this hotel, right? And we were just like, she's never done shrooms. I'm like the trip sitter, pretty much, right? And I'm laughing, and you'll know why in a second. So these big ass shrooms, right? So I'm eating them. We each eat one, two. By the third one, I'm thinking now about an hour, almost an hour's passed. We just ate the third one. Maybe my timing was off. I don't know, but it seemed like it was close to an hour. Usually you should start to feel it. So I'm like, just not feeling it, right? Now I'm starting, kind of questioning, like, are these any good? I mean, I know they're not bunk, right? Because I know the guy well who, I got them from him. But I'm just thinking, like, maybe they're weak. Because once in a blue moon, I've gotten a weak batch from them. So, we'll go for like 4, right? And now I'm like starting to think about this. And I'm like, it's kind of like, maybe we should slow down a little bit. Oh, you know what? I totally fucked the story up. When we checked into the hotel, right? Totally sober, right? I gave him my ID, right? Checking in this hotel. And the lady gets my ID and she's running it, right? And then all of a sudden she's like looking at the computer screen, she's typing in the information. When she hits my ID and runs it, she goes like this. She's like obviously really interested in like what she's typing, like she saw something on that screen. Now I know that if you have a warrant, right, or you're a person of interest, right, or you're wanted for something, right, they can flag your ID. So if you check into a hotel, you get a rental car, try to get a bus ticket, or a plane ticket, it'll send a red flag, right, saying that you're a person of interest and please hold till the police get there, or whatever it says. I really don't know what it says, but I know they can do that. So I'm sober, right, but I'm a little paranoid. I'm a little paranoid because of the way she acted when she ran my ID, and also because right around that time I did something that brought the attention of the authorities, possibly. I basically sold to an undercover, right? And I'm pretty sure I knew who it was after I did it, but I was kind of paranoid because I was pretty sure that I did, and I wasn't, and so when that happened, like when, she ran my ID and she was like all focused on it, that made me extra paranoid. And so I said something to her, like, hey, what's going on? Are they okay? And she's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, everything's fine. And it made me kind of paranoid, right? Plus I got all these fucking shrooms on me, right? We're at this hotel. So anyway, I've got to mention that first. So that's happened, then we get to the hotel, we eat the shrooms, right? Well, the shrooms started to kick in, right? And holy shit, right? These are just kind of creepers, right? I felt bad for the chick that I was with because she had never done it, right? And like I was about need of a trip sitter myself, right? And I'm just like, fuck. And I start looking at these shrooms and I'm starting to like try to do like the finger like bag, like it's an eighth, whatever, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, I think we each ate like 5 grams, right? That was my estimate. I'm not really sure, but so I started eyeballing. I'm like, fuck, I think that's about 5 grams. A lot of shrooms, right? Especially for someone who's never done shrooms before or any psychedelic, never even smoked weed. 5 grams. So, okay, now I'm getting paranoid, right? Because I'm really high, and I'm like thinking, okay, and I'm thinking about this chick at the front desk. I'm thinking about the undercover guy that I sold to, and I'm thinking like, fuck, right? And I'm like, okay, I got like way too much shrooms up in this little hotel. There's no way out, right? My car's down there. So I go out to smoke a cigarette, and I look around, and of course, everything. I'm super paranoid, right? Guy down in a van next to my car, like fixing something inside of his van, right? You know, and he's like looking up at me, I'm looking down at him. Guy across the way of the hotel, right? He's like sitting out there smoking a cigarette, but he's not really smoking a cigarette. He's like, I'm watching him, right? And he's like going like this and like holding him to his mouth, but he doesn't blow anything out. I'm like, it's kind of odd, right? Then I'm looking across the street. I see a car across the street, just two guys sitting in it, staring at the hotel. I'm like, fuck. So now I'm super paranoid. Now I'm thinking the cops are here, right? The cops gonna get me. Cops gonna get me. These are undercover cops. They flagged my ID. Here I am with a fucking butt ton of shrooms. So I sold an undercover cop, and I'm stuck at this hotel that I can't get rid of them. I'm not gonna flush them. There's way too many, right? Way too much to flush. I mean, I could, but I just having me flush that amount of shrooms would just be like, it'd be like asking me to cut off my fucking finger. Could I do it? Probably if I had to, but if my life depended on it. But I wasn't about to do that shit. And there's nowhere to go. No window, nothing, right? This is like, you're fucked. So I'm like telling her, I'm like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. And she's like going like this. She's like looking at the wall. She's like, huh? She's like, what? Because she's never hallucinated before, never done any drugs, right? So it's like, and it's kind of cool. Like I wish I could have enjoyed it, like kind of like, you know, had a better experience with her, or she could have had. Because I'm like the worst person you want to be around on 5 grams of shrooms if you've never fucking tripped on anything, not even weed. Because here I am fucking paranoid as fuck, like, we gotta get out of here, you know, like fucking Fear and Loathing in fucking San Diego, right? Right, it's cops everywhere. Okay, got the shrooms, right? And like, so I take her, and like she can barely like walk to the car. She's like, oh, you know, and I mean I'm pretty fucking high myself, but you know I know what to expect, right? So we get to the car, right? I drive out. Boom. As soon as I drive out, fucking car across the street, gets right behind me. I'm like, fuck. So I'm driving, you know, and it's like I'm tripping so hard, I'm peaking. I'm probably about 5 grams of shrooms, and my depth perception is fucked. The lights, the glare off the fucking road and shit, and off the window and everything was just so fucking intense that I was having a really hard time seeing, and I couldn't tell how fast I was going. It felt like I was going really fast when I wasn't. Just tripping, right? That's the only way to say. You know, I swore this guy's following me, right? So I'm taking these turns, right? But I'm having a hard time driving, and I'm trying to figure out my GPS, right? And anyway, I managed to get back to my house, which was a long ways away. It was like 15 miles away, all on the freeway, right? It was rush hour traffic, right? It was a difficult drive, I'll just put it that way. So, get to my house, dump the shrooms, lock them up, life safe, blah, 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 blah. Safe, right? But I left in such a hurry, I left all my shit at that hotel, right? But now I'm thinking, hey, fuck it. I don't have anything on me. If they're gonna get me, they're gonna get me, right? They know where I live, so if the cops are coming for me, they're gonna come for me. Might as well just go back to this fucking hotel, because I left my shit there, right? And I don't have anything on me, right? What are they gonna do, right? Because they'll just come to my house and get me, right? I'd rather them get me at the hotel than my house, right? Because I got shit in my house and not at the hotel. So, managed to go back to the hotel, but then I get to the hotel, I start to get paranoid. I'm just like, fuck. Is this really happening, or am I just tripping balls? Am I just tripping balls? It's really happening. And my phone started to act weird. I had like a adware or something from Cash App, right? Which is the transaction that I used with that undercover cop. So I'm like all paranoid about this because I got this adware out of nowhere through Cash App, and it's like freezing my phone and shit, right? And it's like it won't let me turn the phone off, and then when I turn it on, it like immediately goes to like a fucking Cash App thing, and it's like fucking with me, right? And again, I'm high as fuck, so, but I'm pretty sure this is really happening, right? And so we get back to the hotel, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to jail tonight. She's still tripping balls, but she's a little bit better. She was, by the way, she was fucking gangster. Like, I think I would have lost my shit in that situation on 5 grams of shrooms for the first time. And the guy next to me is like fucking Hunter Thompson from fucking Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I probably would have lost my shit. But she was gangster about it. She was fucking totally gangster about it. A lot more gangster than I would have been. In fact, she was more gangster than I was, right? Granted, the cops weren't after her, but whatever. The cops may not have been after me for all I know. So, I'm going to the hotel, and I'm like, nope, not doing this. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not going to jail tonight. Not going to jail. Fucking high as fuck on shrooms. No way. Not doing it. Like, we're going to get another hotel, but we're going to get it in your name. Your name. Because if they got me, it's because they flagged my ID. So, I'm thinking I outsmarted everybody, right? So, we go to a different hotel. She goes to check in, right? I'm like, don't want to be seen because I don't want them to ask for my ID too, because some hotels want both your IDs. So I'm like hanging out at the 7-Eleven. I can see the hotel, just like, you know, across the parking. And as I'm sitting at the 7-Eleven, you know, I'm just watching her, waiting for her to come out, you know. And she's fucking gangster, right? Holding this shit together, right? I don't think she's ever checked in a, maybe she has checked in a hotel. I don't know, but whatever it was, right? Just holding it together. As I'm sitting at the 7-Eleven, right? I'm still getting paranoid, right? But this, I know this fucking happened, right? This guy with long hair, I'm just kind of standing out the door because I'm smoking a cigarette. A little too high to go in. I didn't really want to go in just quite yet. I was thirsty as fuck, but didn't want to deal with fucking having to buy something, you know? Still really fucking high. This guy comes out, he's long hair, he's kind of like, you know, I don't know, disheveled looking, and a shitty car, a little Dodge Neon or something like that. Shit all in it, right? And I just kind of turn and look at him, and I start to walk away. And I kind of looked back because I thought I heard something. And then I looked at him, and he's like kind of trying to turn away from him, but as he's doing, he goes, he had like something in his neck. He's like, yeah, I'm sure that's him. And he goes, yeah, I'm sure that's him. And I was like, motherfucker, right? And then I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, my phone's locked up this stupid fucking adware. I'm like, motherfucker, they have my location through my fucking phone through this adware on Cash App. Do they really? I don't know. To this day, I still don't know. But that's what I'm thinking, right? And there is a possibility that that's true, even though it may be remote, and it still could be all in my head. So I start to walk, right? And I'm kind of trying to walk. I see her walking out, you know, going upstairs to try to get in the hotel. It's upstairs. And I'm trying to cut through the parking lot. When I do, a van pulls around. Door slides open. It's an AT&T van, right? Slides open, right? Swear to God. Two guys jump right out. Bunk, right? One of them looks like he's got a bulletproof vest on the outside of his shirt, right? The AT&T shirt. One guy looks like it's a bulletproof vest. Now, maybe it was like a technician's vest. Maybe he had tools and shit in it. I don't know. But it's like sliding door opens, like poof, both of them, and they both start walking pretty fast towards me, but they're on the other side of the parking lot. So I'm like, oh fuck, right? Could have just been an AT&T guy with the fucking tool vest thing. I don't know. Looked like fucking cops with bulletproof vest to me, right? So I turn around and I'm going, then I go to walk the other way, away from the hotel. Car pulls up, like parks right in front of me, so I have to stop. And I look dead at him, and it's a chick passing, riding shotgun, and a dude, both Mexican guys. Both look just like cops, right? Both look like cops. It wasn't a cop car. In fact, it was like a plane, like, I don't know. I mean, it was a minivan of some sort. But poof, right? Looked just like cops. I'm like, fuck. So now I just start running, right? I'm like, fuck. I'm not going to jail. So I take off. Now I'm running, right? But there's like nowhere to really, I could run down the main road, right? Which they're going to see me and catch me, right? Or I can go down this alley. And I went down this alley. Problem is this alley was like a dead end. So when I ran down the alley, the only way to go was over people's fences, right? Jump these fences, backyard fences, bam. And there weren't houses, they were like condos, right? Like, they weren't apartments, they're like condos, townhouses, right? So it was like, bam, I jumped over a fence. And the fences were high, man. They weren't low fences, man. We're not talking waist high. We're talking the fence was at least neck high. So we're talking the fence is probably 5 feet high, right? You know, I was struggling a little bit to get up there, right? And it was kind of cold. It was back in January, so I had a nice leather jacket on, you know, and stuff, and I was carrying some weight. So I was like, jump the first one, right? And now I'm in somebody's fucking backyard, right? In this condo. I'm like, fuck. So it's dark though, right? So I probably could have gone around the side of the house and let myself out, right? But I can't fucking see, right? Again, I'm still really high on shrooms. So I'm going, and I can't find the latch, so just keep jumping fucking fences. Bam, got to the second one, right? The second or third one I got to, the dude's back fucking thing was open, right? His sliding glass door, right? And I was like, I didn't know where to go, right? And I was like, fuck, right? And I heard something behind me. In hindsight, it could have been the guy who like probably heard me jump through his shit and was coming out to see what was going on. My head, it's the fucking cops right behind me. So I don't know where to go. I'm kind of panicking. I'm like, fuck. I can't really see how to get out. I can't go that way. So boom, the only way I could go, man, is in a hurry. It was straight, right? This guy had a sliding glass door open. He's in his kitchen cooking dinner. Ran right the fuck through his condo, man. Right through fucking, he had the back window open, just the back sliding glass door. Right through, right past him. He goes, hey, what the fuck? I was like, oh, sorry. And I just ran, grabbed the front door, unlocked it, ran out, right? Then I cut down, fucking got inside, right? And then he comes out chasing me, like, I don't know. I don't think he was chasing me, like, trying to get me, but he was, like, definitely, like, coming out to look to see what the fuck, right? So I'm like, right, I'm scared as fuck. So I remember, and I jump over into somebody else's back patio. But this time, the fence, it leaned, right? And I kind of fell, and I cut my arm a little bit, and ripped my jacket and shit. And my jacket got caught up on the fence as I went over, and I fell, and I fell sideways. And what broke my fall was this plastic fucking backyard furniture. It was like a table, like plastic bench table, and like this plastic fucking shitty chairs you get at like fucking Walmart or whatever, ones. Fell right on that shit. Oh, busted that fucking table. The legs went like this. Tacoed the legs, right? And fucking I get up, I'm like, fuck. The black lady comes out like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, get out of my backyard. I'm like, the cops are chasing me. She's like, don't bring them here. I was like, okay. And I just fucking ran, right? Jumped another fence. But now I'm winded. I'm bleeding, right? I cut my arm, so like it's not like profusely dripping, but it's bleeding, right? I mean, I'm not like leaving spots, but it's definitely noticeable now. And fucking I run into this fence, walk around this fence, and it's like, again, now this is like more of a house, but it's a big like backyard, and there's all these broken down cars, right? It looks like a mini junkyard. There's got to be at least like 8 cars in there, cars and trucks, all disassembled, right? And like fucking, I'm trying to hide, right? I am so out of breath though. My heart is racing. I thought for sure I was gonna have a heart attack, right? At my age, my lifestyle choices, I'm thinking my heart is just, I haven't felt my heart beat that hard in a long time. It's like, right? I'm sweating bullets and shit, and I can't barely catch my breath. And I'm thinking to myself, I should just lay here, and I was gonna crawl into one of these cars, right? And just fucking chill. But as I'm doing that, I didn't realize somebody's working on a car. There's a dude wrenching on a car, and it's nighttime, right? But he's got floodlights out and shit. And he's like, and I'm looking at him, and he's like this fucking tweaker guy, right? He's like, what are you doing in my yard? Don't steal my cars, steal my shit? He's like, no, man. I'm like, the cops, man. The cops are after me, man. The cops are after me. He's like, well, don't fucking bring him here, man. I'm like, how do I get out? Which way do I go? He's like, that way. So I ran out, and this is a long story. It's coming to an end. You get out, there's a house, like his neighbor's house, right? And there's like a little, where the ground meets the house, right? A little window, right? With like chicken wire on it, right? I guess it's a crawl space underneath the house, right? I didn't know. I had nowhere to go. Like, I don't know where the fuck I am. It's like a side road. I don't know if it's a dead end. So I see that. I'm thinking, I was so tired. I'm just done running. So run up, grab that fucking chicken wire shit, pull that off, crawl into the crawl space. Crawl space is like, I don't know. It was fairly big. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 3 feet maybe. I mean, you were on your hands and knees, but you weren't on your belly, put it that way. I crawled back as far as fuck as I could under this crawl space, right? And this is a house, I guess, right? Pitch black though, right? It's like, it's asbestos or not asbestos, heating insulation and shit. It's fucking, it's like fucking, and it's really fine, powdery fucking soup dirt. And I'm like kicking it up and I'm breathing it and shit. So I'm like crawling through there like this, like fucking trying to breathe and shit. Trying to keep from breathing in that heating insulation because it was fucking with me, right? For 2 months I couldn't smell from the story, from breathing that shit in, right? 2 months. Anyway, I hid under there, caught my breath. I thought for sure I could hear people walking around the house. I could have swore I heard like radios, like cops like that. Again, was it all in my head? I don't know. I'm sure there are people walking around because it was like a house and it was like in a neighborhood. Maybe they heard me, maybe people, I don't know. Don't know what's real, don't know what's not. I thought for sure I was dead. I just sat there contemplating myself like, fuck. I'm gonna go to jail. I'm going to jail. Sold another cover cop. Going to jail. They have me pinned. I can't get out. There's nowhere to go. I have no idea where I am. I'm spent. I'm bleeding. I lost my jacket, right? Oh, and I ditched my phone because I was convinced that they were tracking me through my phone. So when I was running, jumping those fences, at one point I just tossed my phone. Right? So I'm like under this house, and I'm pretty much trapped. And you know, I heard a dog out there like sniffing around. I'm just like, fuck me, they're gonna send in a fucking dog, right? Oh my god, like they're gonna send a dog. Dog's gonna chew my nuts, right? And I'm gonna have to, you know, get dragged out by my nuts by a fucking, you know, fucking German Shepherd or something, right? Well, I lay there, I sat there, and it got quiet. I sat there for 8 hours, right? No phone, no lights, no cigarettes. All I could do was feel around. And eventually my eyes slowly got used to it, right? And I kind of adjusted so I could kind of start to see shapes, right? When the sunlight came up, by the way, yeah, she has no idea what happened, my friend. So she went into the room. She has no idea what happened. So she's tripping balls, right? Never been, you know, high as fucking shrooms. I just disappeared, right? I felt so bad for her, but I couldn't make my way back, right? I wasn't sure if for sure they're gonna fucking wait for me, right? My car's over there, right? So I ended up making a break for it. I made a break for it, and by the way, I am covered with, I got blood down one arm, right? That's on my shirt, on my pants. Got fine soot all over my fucking face and my hair. You know, I got fucking heat insulation. I look like I've been crawling under people's houses for a living, right? And got fucking cut up, right? I look like shit. My shirt's torn. It's not just my jacket, now my shirt's torn too. So I look like shit. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's no way I can wash this shit off. And I wanted to avoid any public areas, right? So I'm kind of trying to go, I found this like public hiking trail, right? I'm in like kind of El Cajon Santee area of San Diego. And it's a legitimate hiking trail, and it's like 5:30 in the morning, so there's not a lot of people out, but there's some people out in this hiking trail jogging the dogs and shit, and then there's me. You know, by now I'm not that high on shrooms. I'm still high, but not super high. I can actually talk, right? So I'm like, you know, going down these trails, people looking at me like, what the fuck? I'm like trying to like, I'm looking around, like, I even saw a homeless guy, man, and I asked the homeless guy, I'm like, dude, you gotta give me a shirt. He's like, I don't have a shirt. I'm like, no, the one you're wearing right now. Give me your shirt. He's like, no. I'm like, pretty sure money. I didn't have, I had like, I don't have my cards, right? I had like, I don't know, $4 or $5. I'm like $4, man. Give me that. I want your shirt, man. I'm not negotiating here. You know, and he's looking at me like, guy had big balls because I'm covered in blood and fucking nasty shit. I'm like, give me your fucking shirt. Here's $4. You wouldn't do it. Would not do it. And you know what? I was just like, if I ever see you again. No, but I was like, whatever. So I took off. Anyway, well, I ended up in this neighborhood. There's these Mexican landscapers, right? Doing some shit. They're actually city workers though, right? And they see me, and I'm like kind of trying to hide. Like they could tell this is a really nice neighborhood I wound up in. I'm like, fuck, I sound like a sore thumb, right? You know, I'm still thinking cops are looking for me. And there's helicopters flying around. Right? And I'm just like, you know, and it's probably the hospital or whatever. I doubt they're looking for me. But anyway, but it still made me fucking scared. Anyway, man, one Mexican guy's like, he sees me kind of trying to hide, you know, behind the bushes. He's like, hey, what the fuck happened to you, man? Like, you been in a fight or something? I'm like, he's like, you're running, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you running from the cops? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. He's like, you can hide here, man. I'll let you know if they come by. Just, you know, keep down here. And he was fucking cool. It's a city worker, man. Works city. There's like 4 of them, all Mexican guys. And he's like, yeah. So, and I was like, hey, man, I really need a favor from you, man. I really need you to call me a cab. Because I couldn't call my Uber. I couldn't call Uber or Lyft because I ditched my phone. I'm telling the guy, I'm like, I need you to call me a cab, man. And I have money, right? On my card, right? And he's like, it took forever to fucking get a cab because it's like, who the fuck calls cabs, right? Like, everybody uses Lyft and Uber, right? So we had to call. He didn't know how to call a cab. I didn't know fucking cabs number. I'm like, what is it? Fucking 619-444-444. Or is it 888-88? I don't fucking know. It's been like 20 years since I called a real cab. Well, maybe not that long. At least 10. I don't know. Fucking. So anyway, we figured out it took like 2 hours, and the cab gets there, and the guy's like, looks at me, he goes, hope you got cash. I'm like, I don't, but I have a card. He's like, fuck no, man. He's like, I'm not, you ain't getting in my cab looking like that, man, if you don't got cash. I'm like, dude, and I had to tell this guy the whole fucking story. I'm like, dude, look at me. Look at me. I've got the money. He's like, where do you want to go? I'm like, I need to go home. I need to go Hillcrest. And this is far, right? This is like on the other side of town. Like other side of city, not town, city. It's like 15 miles, 18 miles. I'm like, look, dude, I'll give you cash. Look, here's my wallet. Here's my cards. My cards have cash on them, money on them. You can run them. Okay, here's my ID. Look, I'm cool. Look. Then I'm like, anyway, I talked him into doing it. And yeah, he wanted cash. So I had cash in my house. So bam, I hooked him up. He charged me $50 to give him 70. Bam. And from there, okay, I had some stuff at a friend. After that, I immediately went to my friend's house because I had some stuff. I thought the cops were still after me. And I had some stuff at a friend's house that I shouldn't have had over there. And I was worried that my friend might get in trouble because I don't know if they're following me, if they follow her too. I don't want to get her in trouble. So I had this stuff we had to get rid of, right? And flush. I was willing to flush this stuff because, can't really go into detail about it without incriminating myself and tell you what it is. Whatever though. So I went to her house, right? She lives right next to me, like I don't know, half a mile down the street. Once I got home, I was able to change and shit. But I still didn't shower anyway. I just changed real quick. Bam. Then I was able to fucking Uber, blah, blah. So, anyway, get to her house and I told her, started to tell her the story. She's like, you can finish that story later, Zach. She's like, let's get rid of the shit. Bam. And then she's like, we're going right now. Pack up the car. I'm like, where the fuck are we going? She goes, Las Vegas. I'm like, Las Vegas? That's about 5-6 hours from San Diego, right? I'm like, Las Vegas? She's like, yeah. We're getting the fuck out of Dodge right now. You're not taking no for an answer. You're coming with us. It's her and her girlfriend. Like, not what I expected to do, but we did it. Fucking drove to Las Vegas and we hid out there for a week. Stayed at the Cosmopolitan, man. I've never been to Vegas before. It was fucking rad. I had a great fucking time. And the whole time I keep thinking to myself, and I had hardly any money, right? And it was like, and I kept thinking to myself, man, I hope this wasn't all in my head. And that's pretty much the end of the story. But I do know this. The next day when I was sober, once that incident happened with the hotel, for the next week, every single day, people were hitting me up on Reddit. Hey, I live in San Diego, can I buy some? I said, hey, I live in San Diego, I need a plug. Hey, I live in San Diego. Hey, can we meet up? Hey, can I meet up? Hey, can I come meet you somewhere? Hey, can I buy this? Can I do this? So, there was something, part of that, there was some truth to this because there was definitely cops involved because I might have just got away that night, right? I may have been all in my head, but one thing that stood true is every day for about a week, I got hit up on Reddit, like probably at least 5 times a day. Hey, I'm in San Diego, I'm new in town. Can you hook me up with this? Can you help me find this? Can we meet up at this place and can I buy this? And it was like, no fucking way. Like before it was like once in a while you get some people, trying to feel you out, hey, I need a plug. But this was like 5 people a day, bam, and it happened for like a week. I got to the end of the week, I was just started replying to them like, no officer, I don't sell drugs, sorry, bam. And a lot of people won't even reply back, just go silent. And their accounts were obviously just made, they had no friends, no fucking Reddit points, whatever. Anyway, so I do believe the cops were trying to get me. I think what happened, in my opinion, is I sold an undercover cop, and they wanted to catch me selling, exchanging hand to hand, because they didn't have enough evidence to say that I sold an undercover cop, but they knew it, but they wouldn't have held up in court because of this and that. So they wanted to actually catch me red-handed, so they're trying to get me to fucking bam, bam, bam. So I do believe there are cops involved, but I got away, and you know what? I don't sell drugs anymore, so I can tell this story because maybe I'm just making this shit up because it's a YouTube, right? You can probably tell by how I talk that I'm just making shit up as I go along, right? This never really happened, but it did. So that's my story. 30 minutes, should have been about 10. Couldn't say. There's more to it, but I'm just gonna cut it here because 30 minutes, I don't expect anybody to sit this for the story. It's all true though.